Hi, welcome to Dose with Grace. I hope you're doing great and taking very good care of your health. You must be surprised today. It's a very different setting. I'm not sitting in my own room. In fact, I'm not sitting in Singapore. I'm sitting in a place very far away from there, and I have a special person next to me, my son.
Hello.
So, we are in Bath, we are in UK, we are visiting our daughter, and I thought, why not make something special on memories? As my son is visiting his sister for the first time, his first experience of seeing her live on her own and making beautiful memories with her. So, how precious are these for our life? Because everything for the first time is always very special. And today he met his sister in her own place, in her own dorm room, in her own university. And I just thought, since it is a very special thing for us, I'm sure it's a very special thing for every parent and every sibling. So I would like the lovely sibling to share his experience.
Well, I mean, if one thing that is very obvious is that it's very hard because change is weird. Because we're used to something, so that we feel that when we when there's a change, we don't like it because we're not used to it. So we don't know whether it's good or bad. And I suppose it's the same thing for this because I mean, if you think about it, it's like a part of life. Everybody graduates, everybody goes to university, and and it's quite common that it's not always in the same country, um, and uh, and it's very normal. But it's not normal for the person who has had the same life with that same person and dealt with them in that way for a very long time. Because my whole life I have been with her. She has been in my school. We have been in the same school, and we have been living under the same roof. But now she's not in my school anymore, and now she is not even in my home anymore. And so it is very strange, and it is very weird. But in moments like this, it is like always good to express it, and sometimes I also find it very hard. And even now I still find it hard to tell her. But once you do, like and when I told my mother, I told my father, my sister about like how like bad it felt that she's leaving. um, they were able to soothe me because they also felt the same. And I guess that's a lucky thing about having a family like this.
Thank you so much, Aryan. You were so pure in sharing your thoughts and your feelings. And I think many siblings in the world, if they watch this, whoever watches this, and if they're going through the same transition, as you said, it would be very easy for them to relate to this. And
Yeah.
maybe your this tip of being open to express your feelings is something they can take as a takeaway from this. And I think it is a very beautiful and a special thing that happens when you have this kind of a very good reason for separation, which is for her career growth and her higher studies,
Yeah.
that you get to know how much you value this person and your expression of love, even though it is limited to the time that you speak to her on phone or you meet her. But then the value of those moments increase, and you're so focused on that person at that time, even though you have been a very expressive person even when she was with you in school. But many times siblings just go on with life and do not realize that a time will come that you won't be together anymore.
Yeah. And it has actually happened where once she has left, obviously most of the time I spent like doing my daily activities normally by myself, because after she left I thought that um, I didn't really feel like it was like right for me to immediately replace her with somebody else. And which I mean is it can happen to people, and which is fine, because I feel like that is maybe because they feel that they don't want to let them go, and so they still want to feel like they're just doing it only with that person, and because they're not there they end up doing it by themselves. And there was a lot of also activities that I had plans to especially do with her, but when I did them by myself, um, there was like a sudden realization about the value of she being there, um, and the value of how her being there, even if we weren't talking, if we were just watching a movie, if we were walking downstairs, I don't know, maybe we were both studying
Just the
together.
presence.
Yeah, like it's just the feeling that you get, just be knowing that there's somebody else with you. um, and also that is when I like suddenly understood her value, because and it's very common that a lot of people say that once you only realize the value of something once they are gone. And I guess that's what I felt, because there were so many things that we did, so many activities that I did without even realizing how different it felt when she was not there.
That's beautiful. I think it is such a beautiful realization. And like Aryan said, coming from him, one who's experiencing this change and transition, similarly is coming from Arshia. She's also going through the same transition, and same way she is also missing this kind of physical proximity of her brother. But they are not trying to put it under the carpet, they both express it to each other. So slowly, they both are helping each other go through this transition in a very organic way. And like Aryan said, as a family, we like to talk about it. We don't brush it on aside. We don't try to distract ourselves. We try to uplift each other's spirits by understanding the logical part of it, but also letting the beauty of the emotions flow and valuing each other even more in our lives. I think this is a beautiful way for the whole family to get a little more love for each other, understand the value of connections and presence of people around us, how much they mean to us, how much is their contribution into our lives. And if this video can help someone feel more relatable, it could not be necessarily your sister who's moved out. It could be even your spouse who's left the country for some project or some work. It could be that you're staying away from your parents.
Yeah.
It could be any relation, or a very very dear friend who has just left the city. You're probably feeling the same things.
Yeah.
It's, I think, the connection that we are talking
yeah,
about.
the expressing it is very important, and it is very very hard for somebody to express sometimes. For me, it was mostly because I didn't want it to be sad that she's leaving. I don't want to make a negative impact, um, which is also a fair point. But if you hold in those emotions, maybe it may happen that you might never get over it. Because I also clearly remember in the last 2 weeks when she was in Singapore, she had told me, "Oh, Aryan, 2 weeks until I leave. Maybe I don't know, 13 days till I leave, 7 days till I leave, 5 days."
Yes, she did actually walk us through the whole path. And I
Yeah.
think this is one thing which you beautifully mentioned, that she actually did these kind of reminders to him. And also to us, she broke it down to, like, I'm not going for 3 years. She said, I'm coming back in next vacation, which is in December. So basically, I'm going for just 2 months. And that made it so much easier to relate to, And I think this is what is perfect for the families whose children are going out, for the families whose spouses are going out to work, or even for families in which, sometimes parents have to go and live with someone else. So, I mean, it is wherever family is involved, there is so much love. And when the separation happens, for even for the best reasons, there is always a bit of sadness of, not having that person around you. But the way Aryan said, please do express yourself.
Yes.
That is the best way for you to heal, but also for you to cherish the love and the value the bonds that you have created in so many years.
Yeah.
And I think it's all in a good space, right?
Yes, I mean, the best thing to think of it is, of course, you can say that it's not necessary, or I don't feel comfortable saying so, or maybe I don't want to leave negative impact. But if you also think about it, it's also important to show the person that you love them and you value them, and you also really feel the loss of their presence. Because if you think about it in a negative way, it is very impacting on them and maybe on their choices, but also it shows them that you really value their presence.
Yes.
And it is a reminder, in a very strange sort of way, that you do love them and you value their presence.
Yes.
And the feelings that you bottle up may hurt you eventually, because you might feel that I never got to tell them, and that may also not help soothe those feelings. Because like my mother said, she had told us, oh, I'll be back in 2 months, it will only be this much, when I have this holiday I will see you guys. So it's not really 3 whole years, it is broken down. And so things like this, when you talk to them, you get a new realization, and that honestly helped me a lot. And of course it was very hard for me, but once I did tell them, it did feel a lot better.
We both hope that this video is of help to all those who are in the similar situations, and not necessarily only with their children. It could be with their friends, it could be with any other member of the family, or even relatives.
Alright, thank you so much for listening to us. Bye.
Bye. Take care of yourselves. And as a tradition, as we say these 2 chants, let's do Om Namah Shivaya and Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.